This is actually Mr. Lohith Reddy, along with another Twitterati person on social media who were one of the first two men to say that Neelanti Adavalaki Pillalu Puttakodu Putte Ventane Chachipovali. So please, I am showing this as an example of how these men want total and absolute control over women and want to deny even basic rights as financial stability. The only way that they can have any control and continue to abuse you and get away with every sort of abuse, including financial, domestic, physical, emotional, is when they take away every right away from you. To actually put out a post saying do not let your wife work, especially not in IT, not in night shifts and all of this. And then finally, of course, to say that if a girl follows Chinmayi, then make sure you give her divorce immediately. I am actually telling you, this is the only awareness that I want to create for all of you girls out there. If you find men like this, following men like this on social media, and they speak like this, randomly abusing people, please make sure, if you are having even a relationship with some of these men, please leave. The abuse will never change. Their mentality will not change. It is too ingrained in them. And based on the number of stories of dowry and harassment and abuse, and especially financial abuse that I have seen, one of the first things that even parents do to make sure that a girl is blackmailed and emotionally blackmailed and tormented and tortured into marrying a man that they show is by making sure that she is forced into quitting her job. So some relative will come and say, ఆడది పనికి వెళ్తే ఇట్లాగే అరగంటగా ఉంటుంది, ఫస్ట్ జాబ్ ఆపే, జాబ్ మానేయమనండి అని చెప్పి మీకున్న కొంచెం లిటిల్ బిట్ ఆఫ్ ఫైనాన్షియల్ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ కూడా ఉండనివ్వకుండా relatives చేస్తారు. Please don't let your financial independence be taken away from anybody, because let's face it, I saw this post on Instagram by a doctor who said her own parents were forcing her to get married, and then came to her college. She was going to write NEET PG, came to her college and said that she is a drug addict and she is mentally unstable, and thankfully she had the support of her own college and professors. Now she's peaceful, and she has also cut off in a way. I think her family, the story is reposted on my Instagram. There are a lot of families who emotionally and physically abuse their girls into marrying, which is why the freedom or the agency for girls to choose a man who's just decent is very difficult. Today, Telugu 360 on Twitter went about ranting that, I said, find a man like Rahul or just don't marry at all. So apparently a lot of them are so upset. I was only giving an example because so many of them say, when I say all men, all men, all men, does it mean your husband and brother too, your husband and father and brother and son too? So I had to give some example, right? So they have taken it literally, and the way they have taken it and the amount of abuse that Twitter has been showing, basically Rahul has decided to delete the app on Twitter. He is not going to be active there because the amount of Telugu men who have called him the KOJJA word, and how these incel males and all of these Telugu Twitter handles with a lot of following will not condemn all of this, but silently encourage this behavior because that is their core audience. They don't want to antagonize this audience by calling out this abuse, because their core audience will now start abusing them in return, so they want to remain silent. And I said that yes, I continue to say that either find somebody like this or don't marry at all. But that's easier said than done, especially for a woman like me. And if you're going to be abused and blackmailed by your own parents and uncles and relatives, I feel really sorry for so many of you girls. I wish there is something that I could do, but I can't. I'm not a god. I can't do anything. I really hope in a generation or so things change. And if you have the choice, if you can, if there is a possibility, please leave abusive men. Relationships with abusive men don't change. Therapy doesn't change them. The concept of dowry and మాటికి ఇక్కడ డౌరీ అక్కడ డౌరీ, డెలివరీ ఛార్జెస్ కూడా ఇవ్వని ఒక మగాడు అసలు మగాడైనా వాళ్ళ ఫ్యామిలీ అయినా నాకు నిజంగా అర్థం కావట్లేదు. బికాస్ ఇది దే హ్యావ్ వెరీ ఈజీలీ సెట్ దిస్ ఇస్ ట్రెడిషన్ అండ్ మీరు మాకు ఇస్తున్న రెస్పెక్ట్. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద రెస్పెక్ట్ దట్ దే గివ్ గర్ల్స్? సో దిస్ ఇస్ జస్ట్ అ womb, right? And it's a uterus that has to give birth to a girl or a boy, but they definitely don't want a girl. కానీ వీళ్ళకి తెలుసా, ఒక మగాడికి ఆడపిల్ల పుడితే కానీ మగపిల్ల పుడితే కానీ దానికి సోల్ రీజన్ మగాడు మాత్రమే. I don't think they have the scientific education that they remember, because all the families seem to be blaming the girl. So I really, really hope that you guys get to choose. Some of you have the ability and the freedom to choose. Some of you have the right parents and understanding parents to make sure that you're not married off just because some relative is constantly coming and torturing all of you. Please, I repeat, please don't marry in a society like this. There are so many lovely men out there. And I don't know, I'm not saying all men, definitely not. But if you find all of these red flags, please do not feel any guilt. You are not going to be able to change these men. That's what I'm saying. You are not a rehabilitation space to change a guy and his mentality. That is on his own, social setup. And most of them are not going to change. Please don't marry into these families. Don't give dowry. Anybody demands dowry, don't give. And if you become pregnant with that man's child, it is that man's duty. Across the world, this is how it works. The man pays for his own child. He doesn't expect the girl's parents to pay for his child. That is the next level of shamelessness that I find only here. And then they call this tradition and culture and samskaram and dharmam and all of that. All of this is just bullshit. This is just ways of looting people's money and sitting and planning like that. I repeat, girls, please don't marry in this society with men who have mindsets like this. And ఈ ఆడపడుచు కట్నం, అత్తగారి కట్నం, మా ఇంటికి మొత్తం మంచం నుంచి ఫ్రిడ్జ్ వరకు, ఏసీ నుంచి బర్తన్ వరకు అన్నీ మీరే తీసుకురావాలి. I will tell you this. I and Rahul got married and we spent our own money in our wedding. Ideally, across the world, two adults get married based on what their own savings are. Guys don't expect the money from their parents, neither do women expect the money from their parents. But things in India are a very different thing for so many reasons. But I think you guys should just focus on something like that. Save that money, put it for your own future and for your own children's future. Don't spend unnecessarily on all of these things because all of the show of weddings is only going to make some another 15 relatives or 20 relatives talk about it, and that's of really no use. These people don't come and stay and do anything good. Most of the times, relatives are relatives. If you have money, they'll come. If you don't have money, relatives are not going to be there. Please don't give so much importance for such relatives. Most of these. And of course, when there is this other angle as well. When there is somebody who has done some good deed to you when your family was in a little bit of trouble, and then they use that as gratitude to continue to hold you ransom to do things exactly like an uncle or a peddanana or somebody. And the third and the worst part of a lot of these things is when some of these men holding power over a family is actually a sex offender also, who has been abusing children in the family and teenagers in the family, and the child and the girl now has no chance of saying it, either because there is some sort of a financial disparity or a financial dependence. There are so many things that are interrelated here. I repeat, girls, please don't choose in this society with men with such mentality. Find those men's social media accounts, see how they speak, and most of the times when some of this is shown and their behavior online is a great way of figuring out whether these men are worth it at all. And especially if anybody knows the parents of Lohith Reddy, I'm sure they must be very proud they have raised such a fantastic guy like this. And I wish for nothing. I'm not Buddha or Gandhi. Yesterday there was somebody who wished that my son should die to Rahul, which is basically why he left Twitter. And today there are these, మీ పిల్లలకి ఫ్యూనరల్ చేస్తావు ఇలాంటివి I have only seen from users on Telugu social media. I'm not saying all. I'm definitely saying enough number of people that makes me very scared of what the mentality here is. And to warn you against marrying into such families is just what anybody who wishes only the best for people would say. Unless and until it is abusers, they will keep supporting each other. Please, if you can, share this video to every girl that you know and to the parents that you know. This sort of behavior is becoming really unchecked and it's going out of hand. And of course, Lohith Reddy is reportedly abroad and Charan Reddy is also abroad. So don't think that these are men coming from economically underprivileged backgrounds. They come from rich backgrounds. They are They have been living abroad for a very long time and their mentalities are like this. So don't trust all of these NRI boys also. A lot of them are very dangerous. So please, 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 please safeguard yourself. That's it.